Hey fellow Vault Dwellers, it's Angry Turtle and welcome into the last episode of Perk Cards Explained, and we are going over perk cards that you can find under luck, and let's see which one of those are the best. But before we start, I want to tell you that now we do have a Discord and the link will be in video description, and please say thank you to True Grit because it's thanks to him that this Discord exists. He actually set up everything for you guys. Then feel free to join now, the link in video description. And now we have the first perk, Better Criticals. And even though it's looking like such an amazing perk, it's not. And the reason for that is that critical damage, it's a very small portion of your damage. It's not double damage like a lot of people think, it's very small portion. Then boosting, very small portion, but 20%. It's even smaller tiny bit increase of your damage. And yes, it works and it's stuck with any other critical bonuses, but it's very small bonus. If you want more details, you will need to find my video when I talk about sneak criticals and VATS criticals to explain all the details, because it takes a lot of time. Bloody Mess. This one is actually amazing. Even though it's just 5% and max out is 15%, it works with everything. Therefore, it's a great card to boost your damage output, regardless of what your damage is. Then we have Can Do. 40% chance to find an extra canned good in food containers, and upgraded it goes up to 80%. And this card is very situational, although still kind of useful, because you can equip it, you can go into the white string, and for whatever reason, all the beans in there, the garbage bins, count as food containers. Therefore, you can find canned food there, including purified water. Then we have Cup Collector. More bottle caps in cap stashes. There is not as many cap stashes in this game. Used to be much more, but it was nerfed and the amount is reduced. But you can still find them, and if you have this card maxed out, there will be much more caps in those cap stashes. Just keep in mind, you need to have it equipped, Can Do and Cap Collector, before you go to hunt for those caps or for those food containers. Because it works automatically, but you need to have it equipped before you take a look on the container. Class Freak. Negative effects of your mutations are reduced by 25%, max out 75%. If you have a lot of mutations, then that's a great perk card. It's exactly do what it says. Critical Savvy. This is amazing perk for all VATS users, with maybe exception of shotguns. For shotguns there is something better, but for any other VATS user, Critical Savvy will allow you to crit much more often, because you will consume only 55% of your critical meter when you do a critical. Then we have Curator, and this one double up the duration of magazines and bubble heads. If you are using them a lot, it's just 1 point and can be worth it. Then we have Dry Nurse. A 50% chance to keep your steam packs when you revive another player. It's cheap, but still not super useful in my opinion, as basically you are not reviving other players all the time and steam packs are easily available. And I'm not using this one, not recommended. 4-leaf Clover. Each hit in VATS has a chance to fill your critical meter, and this perk is amazing for shotguns, especially medics shotguns. Because when you fire a shotgun, it's actually 8 pellets that go out from the shotgun, and each of those pellets have a chance to trigger this perk, what means that this perk will trigger very often. And your critical meter will be available almost all the time, regardless of what your luck stat is. Grim Reaper's Sprint. Any kill in VATS has a 15% chance to restore all action points, and max out is 35%, then that's a lot. Then like almost every third shot will refresh your AP. It's very useful if you do not have armor that offer you crazy AP refresh. Then this perk is amazing. I'm using it very often on builds that consume a lot of AP per shot. And This gives me a chance to keep using VATS and killing enemies all the time in VATS if I want to. Junk Shield. That's a very interesting one. Basically, if you carry a junk, you can get up to 10 damage and energy resistance and 30 damage and energy resistance if you max out this card. How much you need to carry? 50 pieces of junk, no matter of the weight of this junk or what type of this junk is. You can carry 50 wood on you and you will get those benefits. Luck of the Draw. Slight chance your weapon will repair itself when hitting an enemy. If you have a problem with weapons breaking too often, and you have already maxed out Gunsmith equipped to help with that, then this can be a good choice. Although by itself, without maxed out Gunsmith and the intelligence, it's not really worth using. It's not very powerful, although it helps a little bit to repair your weapon less often. I have more repair kits than I can ever use, then I do not face this problem myself. I just use repair kit whenever my weapon needs to be repaired. Lucky Break. Slight chance your equip armor will repair itself when struck. And similar situation like with Luck of the Draw, it's only worth using if you are already using White Knight and you still feel that your armor breaks too often. It will help a little bit. And in-depth review was done by Mitzi, and she compared Lucky Break and White Knight, and generally White Knight is much better option, but you need even more, then you can add it on top of White Knight perk under Agility. Mysterious Savior. That's a very interesting one. I was using it sometimes. A Mysterious Savior will occasionally appear to revive you when down, and if you max out this card, this Mysterious Savior will appear quite often. Only problem with that, if you will die instantly, what usually happens if you are attacked by poison or radiation, then you will not go down but die all the way, then there is no way to get this revive from Mysterious Savior. He will appear but he will do nothing. Therefore, it's only useful if you're getting down a lot and not instantly dying. The effect is about the same like life-saving armor. Mysterious Stranger. Unlike Mysterious Savior, this one is useless. Mysterious Stranger does almost nothing. He will appear like a small distraction for your enemies, but that's about it. It's not really useful for anything. Mystery Meat. This one is interesting. Basically what it does, if you are highly irradiated, what means blooded build, and you use a stim pack, there is quite high chance that you will get some random meat. And that's about what it does. I'm not using it. One Gun Army. That used to be much better. Now we cannot cripple Scorchbeast Queen, therefore it's not as useful. But for other mobs, especially if you are using fast firing weapons, they will just get staggered, what means they will be stopped in place, therefore they will not run to you and you can kill them easier. Not the highest possible value for a heavy gunner, but if you have a lot of luck, you can consider equipping this perk card. Pharma. You have 40%, max out 80% chance to find extra first aid chems in chem containers. This card is actually very useful when you are doing a farming run. You can equip it and then go on your farming run, check all the first aid containers, find a lot of chems, including disease cures, psychotats, stim packs, whatever you will need. Then this card is useful to use occasionally for farming if you need chems. Psychopath. Any kill in VATS has a 5% chance to refill your critical meter. That's not very useful card. The chance is relatively small and you need to kill enemy in VATS. It's much better to go for critical savvy or for shotguns for 4-leaf Clover to achieve the same result. I mean, much better result. Then we have Quick Hands. It's very interesting card. There's only one problem with this card. The chance is way too small. Max out is 18% chance to instantly reload when your clip is empty. It's not enough. 18%, it's happening so rarely that 3 points under luck, you have much better option than this. Ricochet. I like this spell card, it's amazing for tank builds. Gain 6% max out, 18% chance to deflect back some of enemy's range damage. It doesn't do too much damage, but it's not why you are using it. It's deflect those bullets, what mean those bullets will not hit you, you will not take damage, and what even more important, your armor will not take damage from bullets that are deflected. Scrounger. Similar to Pharma, but for ammo. And I cannot really recommend it too much as there is not as many ammo containers and there is such a huge variety of ammo that this can be only worth it if you are using a lot of different weapons to utilize this random ammo you'll find. Serendipity. One of the most powerful pair cards for bloodied builds. But very important note, non-power armor. It does not work in power armor. Ricochet work in power armor, Serendipity does not work in power armor. And it does what it says. While below 30% health, gain a 15% chance, 45% chance when max out to avoid damage. Then it's similar to Ricochet, but allows you to avoid any type of damage. Melee damage, range damage, explosions, fall damage. You can avoid any type of damage and it's quite high chance. Only one requirement, you need to be bloodied build. One more card that push people towards playing bloodied builds. Starch Jeans. It's a must-have for like almost everyone, apart from 3 people that do not use mutations, including me when I was doing a challenge run without mutations. But apart from that, everyone need this card max out as it lock your mutations. There is no risk that you will get mutations that you do not want or that you will heal your mutations. And must have card. Storm Chaser. Gain health regeneration while outside during rain or rat storms. That's very specific card and therefore not useful. It does what it says, but still not useful. SuperDuper. Great card for crafting. When you craft anything, there is a 10% chance you will get double results. 30% chance when max out. And side note, it does not work on everything, but there's a lot of stuff that is affected by SuperDuper. Exceptions, all the new alcohols from beef doesn't work on those. It doesn't work on new weapons on armor from Wastelanders extension. And it doesn't work when you craft quest items, like for example, impose a recall card. And those are the main exceptions, but then it works on any food or any chems basically, or stable fluxes, this sort of stuff it works on. Tormentor. Your rifle attacks have a 5%, 15% when max out chance to cripple a limb. And it was amazing when Scourgebeast Queen could be crippled. It's still useful, like if you are a melee build, you will probably struggle with Scourgebeasts flying around. Then you can just keep in your inventory one rifle, equip max out Tormentor, aim for the wing in VATS and equip concentrated fire to get the accuracy as melee build will be low perception, and unload one magazine in this wing. As soon as the wing will be crippled, Scourgebeast will be looking for a spot to land. Then in case of melee builds, it's surprisingly useful, and not so much for commando builds that can just kill Scourgebeast instead of dropping her on the ground. Last Laugh. That's a fun pair card. You drop a live grenade from your inventory when you die. And I prefer not to die, and when I'm already dead, I would rather get revived than drop a grenade. But that's just my opinion. Good with Salt. This card is great. It makes your food spoil 90% slower if you max this card out. And if you want to use this card, you want it max out. You don't use 1 rank or 2 ranks. You use it max out. Therefore your food lasts 10 times longer. Then it's great like for double experience weekend. I have insane amount of cranberry relish crafted before the event, and it lasts all weekend because I have this perk card. I don't need to worry about crafting anything. I can keep farming experience. I recommend this card. If not all the time, then for at least those special occasions. And Woodchucker. That's a very cheap card, and if you actually need wood, it's amazing. Twice as much wood for 1 perk point, and you only need to equip it when you go to harvest your wood. And yeah, it's a good one. And those are all perk cards under luck. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you a lot for watching, and see you guys in the next one.